Game week 29 previews on. It is today, but at the end of the game week 27 pod, we had the trend hashtag where's the song. So here it is, to the tune by Glass Animals in their song being I don't want to talk baby, I just want to dance. This is how I start off. I don't want to talk, Captain's Bruno wants to dance. I don't want to talk clean sheet wipeouts in the past, baby. I don't want to talk Captain Saka scores and dance. And I'm not going to forget all the blanks we had. Both owners were kissed on a summer's day. Managers' ranks blew up like hurricanes. There's a warning written in the corner of your face. Whiplash and you made me Captain Harry Kane. Now I know it's safe to say Salah's past it anyway. You say you fell in love, but you hate the game now. You were good once, but the Scout is now. Scout was dumb trying to work things out. Unlimited budget bent overalls down. Carries on and it goes. I don't want to talk, Captain's Bruno wants to dance. I don't want to talk clean sheet wipeouts in the past, baby. Don't want to talk Captain Saka scores and dance. And I'm not going to forget all the blanks we had. Another deadline passed, but the website crashed. All the groaning sounds. How is Twitter now? Put the XG down. The servers look like clowns. Leave it all to them. Let the angst grow out. Now I know it's safe to say Sterling's past it anyways. I don't want to talk, baby. Haaland wants to dance. Don't want to talk, Tony's betting in the past, baby. Don't want to talk, baby. Tony's gambling stands. He's not going to stop till he scores 4 more than what he had. You fell in love with Matoma now. He'll be good once Alexis figures how. I was dumb chasing mini leagues now. Pin Express burnt the managers down. Don't want to talk, Captain's Bruno wants to dance. Don't want to talk clean sheet wipeouts in the past, baby. Don't want to talk Captain Saka scores and dance. And I'm not going to forget all the blanks we had. The Bosch.
Wow, welcome to the Game Week 29 podcast for FPL Addicts. It was such a good idea to let Chaz create his own song about FPL, but I don't know what to think about that. But welcome to Game Week 29 with FPL Addicts. Jill is here, ready for a massive week, return after the international break. I am here with Christopher Reed in the studio. Reedy, what's your thoughts on that, mate?
I don't know, I'm lost for words a bit, to be honest, Jack. But, listen, fair play to him for having a crack. It just kind of fizzled out a bit towards the end. I was expecting big things, but, yeah. It
was meant to be a short rendition, but I think, he got a bit carried away with the full version. So the 60-second one would have been enough, I think. But hopefully Chaz enjoyed his moment there. And I've had to kick him off the stream, but he'll be back later with his preview for Game Week 29. But if you are new around here, regardless if you enjoyed that music or that solo or not, hope you enjoy the podcast today. And please do give this podcast a like. We are on our deadline stream, so make sure you hit the subscribe button. Grab your tips, grab your advice, all the nonsense. But we are here for a couple of laughs just before the big game kicks off today with Liverpool City. Reedy, excited for that one?
Yeah, I am excited, but the way our defense has sort of been playing this season, it could soon be fizzled out, that excitement later. So we'll see. But lunchtime kickoff Saturday, international break seems to have lasted for years, never mind weeks. And what a game to kick it off with this double game week coming up and so on. So I am buzzing for it. Can't wait for that, and hopefully we can get a win. And I'm sure Arsenal fans will be in particular looking for us to snatch some points from City and keep them there.
Oh, no doubt, mate. And yeah, listen, the international break, listen, it was long, but a couple of wins for England. It's really nice, and a couple of chances to get to see a few assets. Some of them pick up a bit of confidence, carry on the match fitness. Some of them obviously didn't make it to international, got a rest, so it's only going to benefit FPL, the crossover in between both. But what we'll do, we'll jump on to and just recap game week 28. Let's look at a few assets that performed well there and a couple of fixtures. Obviously, Newcastle kicked us off with a 2-1 win against Forest. The return of that man, Isak. Like, he's obviously been out a long time. Impressed when he first arrived in the Premier League. I think he scored his debut from memory. But yeah, he's obviously been troubled with injuries in there. Managed to get himself 2 goals in this game. I think they went 1-0 up Forest and then came back with the 2 goals. And quite a few managers brought him in on the likes of free hits and wild cards, and obviously just for the game week instead of obviously alternatives to Watkins. But yeah, definitely benefit from there. Did you manage to catch any of that, Reedy?
I didn't, I think the key thing really was with it being a blank game week was having Newcastle defenders, and anyone like yourself who did. I think, was it maybe I tripled? Yeah, I had Pope, Burn and Trippier. So when obviously that very popular guy, Dennis, he's not in people's good books after what he did with that double game week, but he wiped out the clean sheet. It was a bit soft. I think it was a mistake from Botman. Or even Pope, if one or the other, and Dennis sort of wiped the clean sheet out. But Newcastle, fair play to them with Isak, and anyone who brought him in, was a little punt in that blank game week. Fair play to them. He delivered. So 2 goals for him.
Yeah, nice work. And obviously elsewhere, there obviously was a thriller between Southampton and Spurs. Obviously that saw during the international break the end of Conte after the rant. And it was, a pretty crazy game. Walcott looked like he was 20 again in that game. He got himself a goal and an assist in there. Kane back on the score sheet, and it was a bit end-to-end, wasn't it? With the likes of Perisic, even Porro, the wing-backs getting on the score sheet.
Yeah, and it was quite a amusing or comical sort of turn of events, really, especially for Southampton. Both their centre-backs went off injured. And then I think it was... did Forster save a pen? Did he? Or did Walcott score a pen? Something, it might have been the game before that one, but either way, the game was just nuts because you'd have expected Spurs to go on and maybe and win that. They were winning it, of course, and they've let that lead slip, and Southampton have come back into the game. So 3-3 points lost for Spurs. People probably expected an easy win from that respect. But 3-3, great little result, really, that was unexpected.
And are you sorry to see Conte leave? Do you think it was right with all that? Do you think it's going to affect the team? Do you think there's going to be a bounce? What's your thoughts?
Of course. We know now that Conte, after the game and his press conference, what he said about
what a press that was. What a press conference that was, by the way.
The journalist would have been licking their lips, obviously. You know what? I think it's one of them where sometimes you don't agree with managers calling their own players out or throwing them under the bus, things like that. But, in all fairness, I respect Conte for doing that. And I think that, to be honest, I think Spurs are lucky to have a manager like that. I just don't think that he's got the right players with the right mentality and so on. So I think he is right. But at the same time, you, as a chairman or whoever, you can't have your manager kind of slacking your club. Nah. So he had to go, and Spurs face Everton next away. So it's an interesting one, really. Now with them having a standing manager.
Yeah, and even after all that debacle with it, Tottenham still sat in 4th place, 49 points, point behind United, which is so weird that they're so high up after such it's an inconsistent kind of season. But obviously that man Kane, we all love in FPL and Premier League, has been flying and made it all happen for them. Big win for Leeds away at Wolves. Jack Harrison's got 2 in 2 in his last 2 games. He's back, scoring boots back on, a big win for Leeds in there. Chelsea Everton. Obviously, I don't know where you sit with who you want to win here in that game, but it's obviously end to end. I'm sure you wanted the Chelsea, but Havertz and João Felix both getting 8 points from that game. Nice picks from people who did the free hits and brought someone in, but Everton held on and got himself back in the game, and could have won it.
I think firstly on the Leeds result, I think that was probably the surprise result of the weekend. No one expecting Leeds to go away and score 4 goals. But yeah, Jack Harrison has been slowly creeping up, with his contributions, whether it be goals or assists or own goals even. We had him score that an own goal that was the March, goal really that wasn't awarded in FPL. So yeah, good result for Leeds there, to be honest. And for me, the Chelsea and Everton game was the perfect result. A draw was great. We don't want Chelsea sort of catching up to us, and we don't want Everton doing too well, so they're still down there in the relegation scrap towards the end of the season. So yeah, it was good.
Blimey. And then finishing off, Arsenal ran absolutely riot at Crystal Palace. Was Patrick Vieira already gone at this point? This is Roy's first game. No, it wasn't, was it? I think he's coming during the break.
I think this was the last game for Vieira.
This was the last game. Yeah, it was the end of
break. Yeah,
and then giving Roy the 2 weeks. Yeah,
last game. I mean, it was expected, and to be honest, I'm surprised it wasn't done sooner. I think they've lost 7, drawn 3. I don't think they'd won 1. Basically, it was something along them lines. And for any manager really to last that long with that record, it's not great at all. And Palace needed to do something to sort themselves out. Otherwise, they'll find themselves down in the relegation as well. So, yeah, good result. Obviously, Saka owners or captainers even have absolutely loved that one because he got 2 goals and an assist and all 3 bonus points. So,
yeah. Just thinking, I'll just look at the table then when you were talking about Palace. So I'm going to reel off all the teams that are in and around, so Palace are 12th in the league, right? Wolves, they've changed manager. They're done. They obviously changed manager in. I think he went. Bruno Lage went, and he came in. Leeds manager gone. Marsh went. Everton, Lamps went. Forest still obviously with
Cooper. They kept him. Actually, I think that's the one where people were expecting him to get sacked, and he signed a new deal.
That's it. So Cooper and Brendan Rodgers and Moyes. Obviously, they've spent a bit of cash and kept a bit of loyalty around that. Bournemouth change of manager. Scott Parker going, and Southampton with Husling, whatever he's called. He went. So obviously, Aston Villa, Stevie G gone. Chelsea.
The one manager change. That's what I mean. Is Villa really? That's actually done. Proved to be the right decision, really, because look where Villa are. At the moment, Emery's probably done a decent job there coming in. But Chelsea, Potter.
Well, 2 out of the 10 teams in their position have all changed managers. So all looking for manager bounties. But pretty interesting. I thought flag that. But Saka obviously cleaning up in this game. Man on fire, international as well. Brilliant joining for England. Looked really good, and Martinelli getting on the score sheet too. So all them assets for Arsenal. A couple of assets for Arsenal firing there. Trossard with the assist, and obviously a Ben White, who's a favourite in FPL, cheap and gets the points, looking really good. So, listen, a quick little recap there, and a couple of good standout players. What we'll do, we'll jump into our teams, unless there was anything else you wanted to mention on that one, Reedy, from the break.
No. Good, all good.
No, perfect. So if we go into obviously our team performance league-wise, let's have a look. Here we go. We're in the podcast league. Where are we? Podcast league. It must be at the top there somewhere. That's FPL side net.
We're at the bottom there, Jack.
At the bottom. Where am I here? Right, here we go.
There we go.
Yeah, it must be speaking about your team there being at the bottom.
We got
the bottom. There we go. So Chaz, who obviously just provided that awful song for us at the start of the pod, he got 57 points for game week 27, which 28, sorry, which, listen, not too bad.
29, 27, 28, which one?
28. I'd lost already. So Balls of Steel, 57 points there. Reedy, even worse, with 53 points. So let's have a look at your team, mate. You made 1 transfer that week. Very tough, obviously, with the blank, making moves. You didn't take any hits, which is very unlike you, because obviously you wildcarded previously, right?
I did.
Wildcarded 27.
Wildcarded 26, actually.
26,
I went with 10 players, didn't I? So I made 1 transfer. It was Watkins, actually. Watkins was the transfer I made, really, and he got the 5 points, so I can't argue with that one. and no hits. Yeah. So, I think I expected more from Kane. Saka, Kane captain was close. I went with Kane just because I thought, Southampton, much better fixture. He has a great record against them, especially with Son as well. So that made me decision with that one. I think probably overlooking Saka being as good as he is at home to Palace. You can see why that would have been a great pick for people. So yeah, pleased overall, really. The Newcastle clean sheet wipeout, that would have been amazing if I'd have got that.
Yeah, sure they're done with the triple up, yeah.
Yeah, it'd have been buzzing. But, it is what it is. And pretty much the holes came from Kane and Saka and Martinelli chipping in.
Yeah, good return from the two attacking Arsenal assets. And obviously, unfortunate with the captain choice there, mate. And that sits you. Whereabouts are you there now, Lara? You are 1.3 mil. How are you feeling about your rank?
Yeah, at this point of the season, I'd like to be better, much better, to be honest. But there's still plenty of time left, especially with this double game week coming up to make ground. And I think come the end of the season, if you end up inside 500k, considering how the season's gone, I can be happy with that. I mean, 100k, I'd love it, but I think it's just difficult at the minute, unless you've got maybe a wild card and you can change your team with the doubles coming up in 34 and 37. Maybe then you can make up more, bigger rank jumps. But yeah, inside 500k, I won't be too bad with that, really. But yeah, still plenty of time. There's
plenty of time. There's a lot of change that can help. Obviously, a lot of managers do give up when they can't, push on anymore. They get a bit frustrated with it, so that does help in that respect. So I'm sure you can have a few managers letting the team down. You can push on ahead of them. But the Reverend Mikey, 42 points, a really disappointing week from Mikey. He'll no doubt be frustrated. He did take a -8 in this game week.
So he ends up on what, 34, really?
Yeah, 34 points. Good maths, lad. So he's got this Everton double. Has he got an Everton double? Yeah, Everton double in there. He went his captain choice. He went with trips to go very differential. Didn't pay off. And yeah, Saka obviously led the way there, but for his team to make sure he got a few points on the board. But yeah, pretty disappointing from Mikey in there, and he's still above you, don't he? Still above you.
Yes, so, he's managing to keep me at bay. Yeah.
So
weak, but
yeah, that's it. So Reedy, you're on 1668 points. Mikey on 1697. So he's still got a little bit of wiggle room in there. Ollie Walker Peel dropping down to third place in our podcast league. He got 54 points, sitting on 1723 and 610k overall. And then I moved up to second. So the reason, obviously, this in the game week 28, I played my free hit, which debatable whether to do or not, but I only had 6 players on the park. So I've had to take a lot of hits, which on my current, if I'd left in my team, made a few moves, I would have been, I've had to take the hits. I would have, I think it was like 45, 46 points I would have ended up on. So with the hit, it probably wasn't beneficial really. Probably the free hit kind of worked out well. However, we'll see if, versus these big double game weeks that are coming up in future weeks, whether it is actually worth it or not to get small kind of gains. But captain pick was nailed on. Just a shame, obviously, Newcastle assets, Chelsea not doing the business, and striker choices were okay with Watkins getting the 5. I brought Son in, bit of differential. He got that assist. And Maddison, there was obviously a lot of hype about him because he's playing so well. But yeah, he got 4 points in there. So yeah, it was a pretty good week. Obviously, lots of green arrows across the leagues where other people haven't played that free hit. But 71 points leaves me 550 overall on 1729 points. And Elliot Craig still dominating the top of our mini league. 51 points he hold and 1,734 points. So yeah, pretty decent from L. Craig. He's not been on for a while on the podcast, but he's doing all right in there, isn't he? And if we move on to our members league, I'll just run through these now. So manager of the week in the members league, it was myself, 71 points with a free hit. I'll take that, even if it is a bit of a low scoring week. I will take the bragging rights out of that one. So a little pat on my back for myself there, and the Burger King is
go on, Sam.
So happy days taking that. But in the top of our members league, which I think we've got around 50 members in that one. And we've got Matt McKay, 1,818, huge point haul so far from him this season. So Matt is top. In the public league, Milhai Victor is on 1,889, incredible. In the women's, we've got Mira, who has been top pretty much for the whole 28 weeks so far, 1,845. So well done, Mira. And in the members head-to-head, Donald Breslin is still top on 59 points in that head-to-head league. I think our Addicts team have moved up to third place, so that team is going all right. I might have to get your advice on that really at some point on what we can do from the podcast team. But that head-to-head one is going well. We'll jump now into the bonus bank. Obviously, our sponsors for this season, for their second season. So a big thank you to sponsor Bonus Bank. If you've not checked them out yet, jump in the description in the link below on our link tree. You can head over there and check out how to beat the bookies using their software. It's free to use, but you can upgrade to a premium membership if you like. And you can use the code word FPL Addicts to get 25% off your first month. But Bonus Bank have created a bonus tool for us to use, a free tool, which is great. And we use that just to make some final decisions on and look at a bit of data. So they look at the probabilities of clean sheets for each team, as well as which player is likely to score during the game, and it's useful to determine your defense and players' picks, as well as assisting with those captain choices. But this week, we have in third place, West Ham versus Southampton. A 41% chance for West Ham getting a clean sheet. I'm not too sure. With Southampton grabbing 3 against Spurs in that last game, not too sure about that. And it's but 40% is what the probabilities are saying. And then in second place, Bournemouth versus Brighton. Brighton with a 43% chance of keeping a clean sheet. So that'll be pretty interesting to see if they can do that. I think that's a pretty good shout. So defensive picks for Brighton, definitely consider them. Any eyes on any players from Brighton, Reedy?
I think Brighton are still a good
defensively.
I think they're still good picks defensively. I think Estupiñán, he's been on his international trip playing. Actually scored a penalty for Ecuador. Am I right? Am I right with that one? It's Ecuador, isn't it?
I think it's Ecuador, mate. Against Australia.
Yeah, that's the one. There we go. So. Yeah, I think, the likes of Estupiñán, the likes of Dunk, who's a minutes guy, he's going to start both games and, might even get a cheeky header. And I think Brighton defenders are still great picks, as I say. Some people have still got Steele even from the blank game week. And it doesn't look like at the moment that Sanchez is getting back in because of the way Steele's playing. So I think if you've got Brighton defenders, or maybe you're looking at getting someone in if you've only got 2 Brighton, say you've gone Matoma or you've got March or Mac 10 or McAllister, I should say. Then I don't see why Estupiñán wouldn't be a great pick still.
Nice.
So I'm all for it, mate. I'm all for Brighton defenders still.
Nice one, Reedy. First place, 47% chance of getting a clean sheet based on the probabilities provided by all the bookies across the world. Arsenal versus Leeds United. Arsenal with that 47% chance. So you're looking at likes of your Ben Whites. Maybe even Tierney can get, he started obviously the last game, where he came into the lineup, and so he could be a good little one in there. Obviously, Gabriel in there. He got his Zinchenko, obviously great assets as well, and obviously Ramsdale in goal. So 47% chance. We'll just jump onto some comments while we're live. So thanks for joining once again to everyone. If you are new around here, please do give us a like. Hit the like button just below. Hit the subscribe button and keep your comments coming in. But thank you for joining. So first, Dallypool, would you play double game week players, Jensen, Felix and Bailey, over single game weekers, Odegaard, Zinchenko or Martinelli? Reedy, what's your take on that, mate?
Well, it's a tough one, and I'm assuming he means that, or they mean Dallypool means they're not playing a bench boost based on the question. You look at the Arsenal fixture, and we've seen time and time again that single game week players can outscore double game week players. It just always happens, and we all sort of get sucked into the doublers. I think someone like maybe playing Felix over the likes of Odegaard. I think that's a good shout. I would start Martinelli just because of the form he's in. With Arsenal playing at home as well, so I'd start him over the likes of Bailey, and then You've got Zinchenko as well. I'd go with Zinchenko and Martinelli personally. I think Jensen and Bailey, you could quite easily bench them and see them, not really doing much. What would you say, Jack?
Yeah, listen, I think I agree with you about everyone gets sucked into the double game week, because obviously a lot of people are probably going to be playing free hits maybe this week as well. If not, they're holding for later on. But they want to pack them out because you stand a better chance, obviously, because there's more opportunities, but not necessarily always the way. I think Arsenal played Leeds earlier in the season, won 1-0 away, clean sheet, Saka scored. Listen, I think Odegaard, Zinchenko, clean sheets, attacking threat, they are in good form. Are they going to drop off? But the double game weekers, Felix and Bailey, not convinced. So I'll be pushing more Arsenal against Leeds. So thanks for your question there, Dali. Good luck for this game week, and feel free to jump in any more questions. Harry Smith, thoughts on Jack Harrison? Obviously, we mentioned him a couple of times already for this double game week and for the future. Gnotto injured. And obviously nailed the minutes. So Harrison for me, get him in. I think it's a great shout and definitely differential. Reedy?
I have to agree. I mean, he's been in decent form, Harrison. Would you be surprised with Leeds scoring? No. With the way they played against Wolves and got 4 goals, and as we say there about Harrison, he scored against Brighton as well. He managed to get an assist. I think
20 points in his last 2 games. Obviously, he's hit on there. 2.5% ownership. Looking good, and 5.7 mil. So he's like that Almiron kind of price range, wasn't he, when he was obviously bursting on Ethiopia?
I think what I would say is, though, is in terms of the double game week, he wouldn't be high up on my list because there's that much choice at the moment with midfielders. Your Brightons, your Liverpools, your Uniteds, and the list goes on. Really, the amount of good players that you can have in that midfield. So it is difficult to squeeze them in. But listen, if you fancy the pick, go with your gut.
Yeah, no, good work and good luck, Harry. Thanks for jumping in, mate. Over to Jeff. Would you do Zinchenko, Saka, Odegaard, Haaland to Shaw, Maddison, Bruno, and Havertz for a -8? Oof. So Zinchenko, Saka, taking out his Arsenal assets, taking out his City asset in Haaland, and then going Shaw, Maddison, Bruno, and Havertz. Reedy, what do you reckon, lad?
That is a spicy one, isn't it? That is a spicy one. I mean, I think with the 4 moves, it only being a -8 as well, rather than like a -12 or more, whatever. So I wouldn't take Saka out. That's the only one for me. I think it'll be close, and yet again, this is just my opinion, but I think it'll be close between Saka and Bruno. Tough fixtures for United, both on penalties. Obviously, Saka's in form and so on. But at the same time, if you're looking ahead, United's fixtures in 30 and 31 are great. So you'll have obviously the United guys for those. And it just depends whether you're free hitting in 32 as well, because United blank. So and so did Chelsea actually as well. So Maddison, I really do like. I haven't got him, or I didn't go for him way back when I did the wildcard in 26. I went for Harvey Barnes and then basically took him out because he got injured, I think it was. But I really do like the Maddison pick, to be honest with you. I think 2 good fixtures.
What do you think about his injury record, though? He's he can't put this run of games together, can he?
Yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get with him. I mean, when he's on it, he's fantastic. He is great. And if anything's going to come through Leicester, in terms of goals or assists, it's going to be through Maddison. So that's the one for me. I think you could just do.
You could probably hold on one of them at least. Do you reckon?
Zinchenko for sure. Oda for Maddison, and I'd do maybe Haaland. I don't know in the Haaland one really, to be honest, for Havertz. I'll throw that one over to you, to be fair, Jack, because I'm not 100% sure with the Haaland to Havertz one. Would you keep him still?
No, listen, I think Haaland with Chelsea, easy game against Liverpool coming up. Yeah, I think Havertz could look good. I think listen, you could make the move. Maybe save one of your moves. Only go for maybe don't take the -4. Use your two free transfers and the -4. Maybe hold on one of them at least. I think Havertz to Haaland, you can save the cash and bring it back in if you need to, right?
Yeah. I think Zinchenko and Odegaard are the moves that I'd potentially look at for sure and Maddison.
Yeah,
they would be.
Yeah.
So
easy. Over to Colm. Thanks for joining us, mate. He tunes into every episode, so big thank you for supporting us once again, buddy. Do you think it's worth taking a -4, -8, -12 just to be able to play a decent bench boost? Not for me. He's saving it for game week 34 as he's still got his wild card, and he's just wishing everyone good luck. So yeah, listen, I think not going too big. Nothing's guaranteed. Bench boost. I think if you're doing your wild card, and then the week after you set yourself up for maybe a bench boost, might be a better idea. If you can work that in and schedule that into your forecast. Anything from you, Reedy, on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think -8 to -12s a bit mad, because what you're basically doing, you just use
some of that you're used to, surely.
Well, this -12s. I can't remember the last time I did that, to be honest.
You've definitely taken them.
-8 has definitely been done, but you're basically just using your bench boost as a wild card, if you like, to get them players in. You're not using the chip to gain the points, really. So that's how I look at it. I think a -4 is okay though, because it's a double game week. I think that can be made up, -4 for sure. But anything after that, I mean, -8. It just depends who you've got in your team, really. But yeah, great plan by Colm in terms of in wildcard and later on. And, he's got game week 34 in mind as well, which is, some top teams are playing premiums. I think as well, what you've got to consider is your team value. So if Colm's team value is great, then he can really, really use wildcard to pay off and so on.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks for putting those questions in, guys. We'll answer a few more shortly, so stay tuned. But just on the bonus bank and the free tool, just to finish off, they're most likely to score probabilities. This may help you with some of your decisions again. Man United versus Brentford, Marcus Rashford, 41% chance. I'll put him higher than that. But obviously he's been struggling with a bit of a knock in there, but he has been shopping in New York, so I think he's all good and ready to go, refreshed, ready to, he wants you to put the money on the goals now. I think he's back on it. He's going to be ready to go. Second place, the Brazilian is back. Jesus, Arsenal versus Leeds United. No chat about Jesus yet from anyone, but 46% chance of scoring based on the probabilities. And then in first place, that man, Erling Haaland, still obviously a flag over him, I believe. 54% chance. We are on deadline, so we're going to probably maybe hear a bit more news very shortly, really, for this big game, this blockbuster game, Manchester City versus Liverpool. Have you heard any rumblings if he's starting yet?
Well, we spoke about it before. We came on, didn't we, Jack, about it being April Fools today, April the 1st. And, I'm trying to stay off Twitter. I mean, I say I'm trying to stay off Twitter. I've made my moves, which we'll talk about shortly, but, there's going to be people saying, oh, this player's not playing, or, this player's out, and so on. So, yeah, I've not seen anything legit as of yet. That's what I will say. But, I'm hoping Haaland's out. That'd be great for us, certainly. But, yeah, that's it, really. It's just noise. And, I mean, we all know, or I certainly know, the infamous FPL Booner was loved his deadline pranks and all this sort of stuff. So to be honest, I won't be surprised if he's tweeted something out there to get people panicking before deadline.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what comes out. I'm just trying to check my Twitter feed and see if there's any more news coming out of the Twitter world. But we'll see what happens in there. But big thanks to everyone for joining us. If you are new around here, please do drop us a like, hit the subscribe, and jump in the comments. Reedy obviously looking sharp. Thanks to Sharik for jumping in.
By the way, just on Sharik, he's got 15 doublers playing this week, so he's fully stacked. He's got the likes of Maddison
and a bench boost as well.
Salah, he's bench boosting. It's action basically for Sharik. So little shout out to Sharik, because he's a legend. He's basically predicting 160 points with that bench boost. I mean, I don't know if he's going to get that many, Jack, but he's certainly got a good chance with 15 doublers, right?
No, you've got to be in it to win it, and mate, and he's definitely put himself in a nice position in there. But yeah, big thanks for Sharik for jumping in, but also over to Despisac 47. Thank you for joining in, lads. Is it worth bench boosting with Ward, Kane, Odegaard, and White? I think Ward got dropped in that last game, didn't he?
He did. Iverson, however you want to say it, he come in, and I think that's what it was with people. They were either free hitting. They were like, oh, should I bring it, Iverson in, and also the wild cards as well, because I think that actually, whether it was 26 or 27, people were looking at bringing in the likes of Sanchez, and it was like, oh, okay, well, Steele's in now. Oh, okay, well, Ward's out now, and Iverson's in. So a bit of switch up in the goalkeeper situation there. I don't know if I'd bench boost with those guys. Was it Ward, Kane, Odegaard, and White? Nah, not for me personally.
Are you only suggesting people do it with double game weekers for the bench boost? Is that what you're saying?
No,
it's pretty strong. It's still pretty strong bench. We were backing Odegaard and White.
But if Ward doesn't play both games, there you go. There's your goalkeeper spot gone. And then also Odegaard. I think a lot of people are looking at moving him out for a doubler. So if you've got a transfer there to use, you could maybe move out Odegaard or Ward, whichever it was, for someone who's actually going to be playing a double. Because I think, as I say, Odegaard's on a single and Ward might not even play the double. So I think, for me, I don't think it's a good bench boost.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you for answering that one, mate. We've got 45 minutes till deadline. Let us know what moves you're making. Let us know what transfers are you bench boosting, if you're using any chips. Let us know what rank you're in as well. And keep us updated. Despise just thank you for he's going to save his bench boost for later, so you've talked him out of it. Really, hopefully he doesn't regret listening to you. It'll be fine. A bench boost, Miriam, if you're obviously just throwing a comment in there, just asking what it is. The bench boost allows you to gain points for those players that you've put on your bench, so you can still claim all them on there. Sherry, would you? Here we go. You've got to throw in the question. This is Gillis. Would you captain Bruno or Madison? Bruno all day. Come on, mate. So biased, it's ridiculous.
He's been pondering on this all this morning. We were, talking about it, and he didn't know who to go for because he likes the Madison pick. As I mentioned earlier, I think he is a really, really good pick for this game week. He's, the games they've got and so on. But he's like that. It's a bit of a coin toss. He brought in,
it's a massive coin toss. Yeah,
I think Shaw and Bruno. I think he's brought in, and he really does fancy captain in for Ange. So, you're the man. You're your United guy, so you've spoken. And
listen, I think obviously bias-wise, Bruno 100%. However, Madison in one game could change a game with assists and goals. I just don't rate Leicester, unfortunately. And to carry him, if he's carrying him for both games, not for me. Whereas Bruno can carry United for 2 games potentially. So I think he's
Do you think that the Casemiro thing affects United or not?
Yeah, listen, of course it does. It does affect how we play and how defensive we are. But attacking wise, we can still do the job. I think it's just obviously I think we leak more goals when he's not playing. Obviously, we don't win as many. But goals wise, pens, whichever games are big moments, and Bruno's done plenty of them. So for me. Yeah, I think he's more effective over the 2 games versus 1 game with Mads, where I think that's where he is at. Despise, we'll probably get to captains just towards the end, mate, but we'll definitely get your thoughts on that. Miriam also asked, really, who's your favourite player? Another question in there. So who's your favourite player? As current this season in FPL, let's not be biased. In FPL this season. I'll go Rashford.
Rashford. Favorite player has to be Matoma for me.
Yeah,
the guy looks on another level. I mean, Brighton obviously look on another level as it is. The way they're set up and De Zerbi doing his thing, but Matoma, he looks like he's got something special. And you must get some form of Ji-Sung Park vibes, from him. And he was great at United, but I think Matoma just looks something, as I say, special. And I think if he didn't get a big move, if he carries on going the way he's going towards the end of the season and so on, if he didn't get a big move, I'd be really surprised at that. But having Matoma.
Brian have got a bit of a say these days on who they sell and when players move on, don't they? So, but I think Matoma's brilliant. 1v1, exceptional. Probably not necessarily Ji-Sung Park vibes, but I think definitely was a 1v1 player. He's obviously an expert on dribbling and 1v1s, and he's
scored a header in the international break as well. Got himself a header for Japan.
There you go, mate. There's the international scout on it. But yeah, looking really good. So what we'll do, we'll move on to a bit of discussion points ready for going into this game week. Let's have a look at the fixtures, and then we can crack on with it. You got the fixtures in front of you now, Reedy?
Yeah,
as well. Go on, son.
They're all there.
Perfect timing. All right, where are we starting? Let's start at the top. Obviously, going to City, Liverpool first. Assets in here that we should be going into deadline with, or who we're looking at? Anyone that we should be moving on or moving in?
You know what? I think as bad as we've been this season, I think that the evidence is there in black and white that we basically perform against the bigger teams. We're the top of the table in terms of getting the points against big teams. 2 tough games. So obviously City to start off with. We've got a fully fit squad. Luis Diaz is back. Well, say fully fit.
Is it?
Yeah, Luis Diaz is back. Whether he'll start the game today, I don't see it. But, that's a positive. The midfield shot, I say, when we got a fully fit squad. I don't know. I don't think Thiago's there. Bacic is out for the season. So it could be Henderson, Fabinho, and then maybe even Milner, who's on his Zimmer these days. But I think Liverpool assets, I think for me, I'd love to own at least one for this game week. I did look at a -8 and I was like, you know what? I'll just bring Núñez in. Why not? Go on. I'll bring him in for Kane. And then I just thought, you know what? I'm doing a bench boost. It's not worth it at all. So I think Salah, Núñez, 2 great picks. That's probably as far as I'd go for any picks for that game, mate. City, I don't really know, with Foden and Haaland, if they're out, who else people want to go to, and they've only got a single game week as well. So I just don't think it's worth moving to any City assets. Would you agree?
Yeah, fair enough, mate. I think it's a good shout. I mean, City could destroy him as well, though. If Haaland plays, they could destroy him. I mean, yeah. Alvarez is not going to be quite either, for sure, hopefully.
Yeah, I think this one, I think, as I say, I've predicted a 3-1 to us or a 2-2. It's going to be tough.
Predicted 3-1 to you?
Yeah, I think it's going to look what we did to United, Jack. I mean, 7.
I think, yeah. But
Sorry to bring it up, but I know
straight away. I think City are probably a bit more organised than what probably United were that day and can be. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they're conceding 7 anytime soon. Whereas United have still got that in them based on last, quite a few years.
Yeah, I mean, if we're basing this game around the midfield, they win. Simple as that. Because our midfield is not great. I mean, defensively, you don't know if we're going to perform. It's a bonus or it's a bit of a plus that Foden isn't playing against Trent. Grealish is still decent, don't get me wrong, but I just think, Foden's different when he plays against us and against Trent. So, I think this game could go either way. I'm just thinking that, I don't know, I think after the international break, I think we'll have something against City. We always love playing against them.
Well, listen, it's the first kick-off, so hopefully it's going to be a blockbuster one because early kick-offs do let us down, right? So,
yeah, none of that.
All right, next one, Arsenal. Obviously heading in for a single game week only against Leeds. Leeds have been scored 5 in the last 2 games. Arsenal have been on fire, obviously, this season, looking very good for the Premier League. Players that we should be considering to bring in. Obviously, we talked about Harrison already. Anyone else from Leeds? Bamford, perhaps, or no?
No. I think with this one, I'd go for a 3-4, 4-0, maybe a 4-1 win for Arsenal. Repeated the last result. I think Leeds are missing a few players like Woba. They're missing. I think Tyler Adams is out for the season. I don't know if Brendan Harrison's quite fit. Bamford's he's been in and out of the team this season. I mean, I rate Leeds from an attacking point of view. That they're so unpredictable, and they have so many chances. It's just whether they convert them or not. And Arsenal at home is a tough it's going to be a tough fixture. I just think Arsenal will have too much for Leeds. That's what I think.
Arsenal assets, FPL wise.
I think we go to that. It's got to be Saka. It's got to be Martinelli, and they're the standout picks. Really.
2 in there. Fair enough, mate. So have you gone for a score prediction on that?
I'm going to go 4-0 Arsenal. 4-0.
I tend to disagree with you. Bournemouth, Fulham.
We go Leeds 2-1.
Leeds. Obviously, Bournemouth, Fulham, probably not the most attractive game, but Fulham out without Mitrovic, I think, in this one, of course.
And Willian. Willian too.
And Willian as well. Has Mitrovic been handed down his suspension yet?
Yeah.
What did he get?
Is it official in terms of what he's been given?
The number, obviously, he's been given 3, obviously, but it's minimum, right? It's not been done. Fair enough. I think Fulham could obviously still run right with this one, 2 or 3, but goals, Billing's been looking good for Bournemouth recently.
I think Billing and Solanke will surprise people this week.
Could be a couple of goals in it.
I think with Fulham being, in terms of an attacking point of view, depleted, if you like. Solomon, your guy, Solomon, he's not in your team.
He's still in my team. Yeah, he's still in my team.
Are we still there?
Yeah, he's still in my team.
All right. We'll get to the team picks in a bit. All right.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it.
Right. But that's what I mean. I think there's still Mitrovic and Willian do make them stronger. I think Bournemouth at home have proved that they can be a little bit robust at times. They beat us 1-0. Even away to Arsenal, they scored 2 goals. So I think Billingham and Solanke could be in the mix today. I am going to go with the Bournemouth win 2-1. I think they'll sneak it 2-1. What do you think, Jack?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to go with Fulham 2-1. Let's go for Brighton. Obviously, they're going to be playing 2 games. They've got Brentford at home, and then they're playing Bournemouth away, and Brentford are playing at Brighton away, and then obviously United away as well. So a couple of difficult fixtures for these guys. FPL assets, of course, Brighton have been flying in recent, under the Derby. You've got your likes of, McAllister. You've got your Estupinan at the back. You've got Dunk potentially from you suggested before, didn't you? But then obviously more attacking assets. You've got Gross and Marsh and Mitoma, Ferguson possibly as well. But there's plenty of assets in there. Who you thinking from Brighton side across the 2 games?
Well, first and foremost, I feel like that game's got 2-2 written all over it. I think Brentford are a good team, and I think that Tony gets his yellow in this game. Unfortunately, it's got it written all over it. So, I think Mitoma, March, Matt, McAllister, Estupinan, all great assets to own. And I think if you've got them, I think you'll be sat pretty. The Bournemouth fixture next, as you say there, is a really, the better fixture of the 2. But I do expect there to be goals in both games, for sure.
Yeah, nice. Plenty of assets to pick from. Let's have a look at the next ones. Any other kind of standout fixtures for you? Obviously, Chelsea have got the double, Aston Villa and Liverpool.
Yeah.
Talked about Havertz a little bit. Felix, is he one to be bringing in?
I think if you've got them from 28, if you brought them in, you obviously keep them for this double. I think with that one, Chelsea obviously drew 2-2 with Everton. I do think Villa are better than Everton, not by a country mile. I mean, I think Villa apparently have got the 2nd worst goal difference, but attacking wise, they're up there. Yeah, right. So I think this game could go either way. I think it'd be quite even, really, and I could either see it being a Chelsea comfortable win, or I could see Villa throwing a surprise in there, maybe winning.
A bit of Emery magic.
2-0, 2-1, something along them lines, and it could be the end of Potter. But what do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm thinking actually back Chelsea. I don't know. I just got a feeling like they can get it done. Chilwell obviously coming into full good form. It'll be a bit more settled now. The squad now they've been in there for a while. A lot of the new signings that came in the summer in January, and Potter obviously just bedding in, but. We know it's not been great, but Havertz scoring is a good sign in there. So
I think
Felix is obviously a player, and he's actually scored a few goals as well, which is traditionally they never fired in like the Falcaos and alike. So he's actually settled in right pretty well. So I reckon 6 points Chelsea across the 2 games. I think they'll do Liverpool as well, and Havertz is probably the pick. Yeah, for sure out of them.
You like Havertz? I mean,
Chelsea.
The key thing really is if he sticks to that formation, the 3-4-3, and 3-4-3, and Chilwell and James are able to bomb forward and contribute to the attack. That's a key thing for Chelsea. Really, it doesn't work when he goes to a back 4. So I could understand. Yeah, I think as I say, it'll either be a Chelsea comfortable win, as you say there, or it'll be a shock from Villa. That's how I do see that game going. So. I'm gonna stick my neck and I'm gonna put 2-1 Villa on that one.
Fair enough, Leicester, obviously a lot of talk about Mads. James Maddison had a great 2nd debut for England. He's in good form. where you at with Leicester? We're obviously sitting pretty low down in the league now. I think the 17th in the Prem, but he is, what is he now? The 7th most transferred in player for this game week. 11.7% ownership, 8.3 mil purchase price. Where you at with him? Is he going to be banging across these 2 games?
I think Madison's, it's a great shout. We don't know what type of Leicester will turn up, and I think that Woy is back in for Palace. Manager bounce and things like that. You just don't know what Palace are going to turn up. But no, I think Maddison is a great pick. If he's on all, he's on all the set pieces and so on. If he's on pens, even better. There's no Tillemans at the minute, so we don't know who will be on pens. It could be Maddison. And yeah, I think that game could go any way. There could well be a lot of goals in that one. But yeah, Maddison is not a bad pick at all, Jack. Not a bad pick at all for those 2 games, especially with they're at home then against Villa afterwards. So if he's fit, you could see Maddison getting a haul this double game week, mate.
Nice, mate. United obviously double game week here. Pretty excited, for this, just purely because we get to watch, a lot of my assets wise. I've got Rashford in my team. I brought it. I'll tell you who I brought in very shortly when we get to our teams.
Yeah.
But I think excited going to this thing. Newcastle won. Now a little bit different from when we played the League Cup final against Newcastle. They've had Pope for this game. We haven't got Casemiro. We are away from home, so it's going to be a bit more difficult. I'm not expecting anything like what we did in the final, but Newcastle played so well against us as well. But we did manage to get those goals. I think it's going to be a close one, maybe a 1-0, maybe even a 1-1. I think there will be a couple of goals, but picks obviously Rashford. I think he's trained. He's looking good to go. I don't think he's not going to play. And from Newcastle side, obviously everyone's got quite a few probably Newcastle assets still. So Trips probably one, Pope probably a good shout. Because obviously Newcastle have got the second game against West Ham, which I'm pretty sure they'll be looking for a result, but I think West Ham will be on the hunt there too. Going to go United 1-0 there, and the second game against Brentford, a tough game, absolutely. I'm going to go 2-1 against them, and hopefully we'll get drummed 4-0 by them again, or 3-0, whatever it was at the start of the season.
Yeah. They are tough games. I mean, Newcastle defence, obviously, it's not been as good as it was at the beginning of the season. But, you could see that one being a low-scoring game. I know you've gone for the 1-0 there. You could see a 0-0. I wouldn't be surprised. And as you say, the second game against Brentford, you'd think that United now, with the way they've played and the players they've got, they'd be a little bit more, well, with Ten Hag being in there after the run they've been on, them being a little bit more solid. So, but yeah, could go either way, those 2 games. But Rashford, I think Rashford is key, him being fit in both games, really, because I think that's where you'll struggle. If you can't get the goals, it's going to be Anthony, maybe Sancho, Fernandes, obviously, as well. But I think a lot of people, as you say, you do still have Newcastle players in the teams, and have brought in United players like Shaw and like Bruno for the double game week. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 0-0 in the first one, and I think you'll probably win that second one 2-1. I'll agree with that. So yeah, mate.
Nice. Yeah, likes Luke Shaw in there. So yeah, but yeah, go on West Ham. Go on.
I was gonna say we kind of skipped that one, and I think that's been the most difficult decision from what I've gauged anyway, for managers to make from the West Ham games, because 2 home fixtures, they haven't been amazing, but one is against Southampton and the other one is against Newcastle. So I don't know. I mean, I'll throw this one to you, Jack. Would you be actually looking at West Ham players, the likes of Bowen or Ben Rama or something like that for this week?
I don't think it would be, because it'd be me taking a hit, and I don't think I'm prepared to take a hit on any West Ham players. So I think that's probably the biggest issue there. If you're going for free hit or wild card, for example, potentially, obviously Ben Rama's been in good form, and we know what Bowen is capable of. So yeah, probably not for me, and I don't think we'll be looking anywhere else in there either.
I'm going to throw a quick question for you, Jack. You need to answer it in 3 seconds. Go.
Madison.
There we go.
The question was Madison or McAllister, and I think go Madison out of them two. Yeah. But because I think for one game, I think Madison can perform great in one of these games. And McAllister might contribute possibly, but he's going a bit quieter versus Matoma and Marsh, I think, and Ferguson even. because he's been doing pretty decent as well.
Yeah, 30 minutes till deadline, as Colmes highlighted there.
So the countdown, come on.
But yeah, quick question I want to answer before we get the rest of these games boxed off was, would I do Saka to Salah for a -8? I do think Salah will get something from these two games, but Saka in the one single game, I feel like it's...
You got to leave him, surely.
If Arsenal had a tougher game, I would say, yeah, I wouldn't hesitate. But I'd probably just keep Saka, with him also being on pens, similar to the Bruno switch, Saka to Bruno. I'd probably just hold Saka for me. But yeah, rest of the games. Anything else in particular?
No, I think we're good there. And anyone else, if you want us to look at them, let us know in the comments. Jump in, and we'll jump back in the fixtures. But I think what we can do, we could probably jump to our the kind of next point on it before we get onto our teams. Obviously, the most transferred in players I wanted to mention. Obviously, Bruno is the most transferred in player in this game week. Luke Shaw is the second most transferred in player, and then not far behind is Matoma. So it's quite surprising, really, because I thought a lot of people would have jumped on Matoma already. His ownership's now going to 25% owned. Nearly 500,000 managers bringing him in. So the actually top three. Outside of that, you've got Isak at Newcastle, people bringing him in. That's most probably for the Haaland kind of transfer, I imagine. But the likes of, Haaland's fourth most transferred out. Kane, fifth most transferred out player this week. But at the top is Almiron, Saliba, and Odegaard. Odegaard, the most transferred out player who's fit, whereas Almiron and Saliba are out injured. So Odegaard, his ownership's still at 30%, but definitely decreasing. I'm loving seeing the Kane ones being transferred out. That's because I'm leaving him in, absolutely. Because I think he's obviously Martinelli, sixth most transferred out player as well. And Saka, seventh most transferred out player, which is a bit of a surprise.
This is it, though. Everyone's going for the doubles, aren't they, Jack?
Rashford taken out as well, though, mate. Eighth most transferred out player. Because of the flag.
The flag, isn't it? Yeah, the flag. And this is the thing, though. People have potentially gone early as well and not waited for team news, and updates and things like that. So, that's another factor that you've got to include in there. But yeah, Fernandes and Shaw most transferred in, and that says a lot about what people think, for the United double and the fixtures moving forward.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, just before we jump over, just want to mention a big shout out to another kind of sponsor this season who have come on board with us, FPL Live, which is an app for all your scores. So it does rival all your lightning fast apps that you use already for your goal alerts. But there are some great little tools in there as well with the in-game stats on all the players, passes, touches, take-ons, all that as well. So it's a really cool feature. So check that out. It is linked in with the Opta stats, so it is immediate in the palm of your hand, so you can keep on top of all your FPL players and what they're doing and how they're performing. So download the EPL Live app, built for football fans by football fans, and they are superbly helping us this season. Spread the word across Australia. Is one of Australia's leading football apps for the Premier League. So the description below in the caption tells you how to download that. There's a link for it. So yeah, big thanks to EPL Live for helping us this season. So let's go on to our preview. We're going to look at transfers and captains for our teams. I'm interested to see what you have done, Reedy. Chaz is going to appear first and tell us what he has done. Hopefully no singing in this one.
Morning, happy Saturday, you lovely, lovely people. Here to do the pre-record for the Game Week 29 FPL Addicts podcast preview. This is because off to the G tonight, St Kilda against the Bombers, with the Saints celebrating their 150-year anniversary of the club. But first, I thought I'd go briefly through my team. We've got 2 transfers, 4.9 million in the bank. I presume Jack has got it on the screen already, but we've done the transfers. Bench boost is activated as well, and this is what we've done. We've done Ben White has gone to Luke Shaw. Sanchez and Brighton has gone to Steele because Sanchez can't get a game anymore. In addition, Odegaard has been downgraded to Kadu Matoma. They're our transfers, and it leaves us with God knows how much money, probably millions and millions, as per what Donald Trump would say in his press conferences. But whatever you're doing this coming game week, have an absolute blinder. Go and smash it. I'm sure there'll be a few chips activated in itself. Catch you on the other side. Cheers.
A big thanks to Chaz there for his pre-record that he sent us. He is out of action this evening at the Aussie rules. But they are his moves. Let us know what you think about his moves for this game week. What do you think about the Matoma move in there? We won't have a captain's corner from him this week, unfortunately, but we will be discussing that very soon once we've previewed. Read it. You've got your team ready to preview, so I'm going to bring yours up on the screen now. Talk us through it, mate. What are you doing? What have you done?
Well, I've done something. I mean, maybe
I've done something.
I've done something exactly better than nothing, but maybe there's a reason I've done this, and you could say it's a bit like, wow, you could have maybe made better moves. But for me, I took out Raya and Ben Mee, the Brentford guys, 2 away fixtures, and I wanted to bring in 2 of the players who I've wanted for a while, to be honest, and that's Martinez, the Villa goalkeeper, and Tyrone Mings as well. Now,
2 very unlikely moves that anyone could make.
No one expected that to say, like, oh, by the way, Jack, I brought in Luke Shaw.
No wonder you've been banging on about Villa all night.
No, I haven't. You know what? Something about it's just I can just see Martinez saving a pen, or I can just see him getting a haul. I mean,
I can see him getting sent off.
as I say, I mean, 2 away fixtures for Villa. I've just probably lost it a bit and got a bit mad and thought, you know what, Mings and Martinez, they're the guys who I need this week. But
so have you taken hits for that? You've taken hit?
Only a -4, yeah.
-4 for a Villa player. Oh my God.
Who'd have thought? So
guys, get in the comments now and tell us what you think about that, about those 2 moves. Martinez and Mings from Villa he's brought in this week for a hit.
Yeah, looking at the fixtures, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't
fancy I'm looking right at the fixtures, and I don't know why you've made them moves. You've gone Chelsea, and I've been banging on about Felix and Havertz. They're going to destroy him. And then you've gone against Leicester, against Maddison as well.
Yeah, big one. Neck's on the line, Jack. Neck is on the line. I don't know. I could have gone for maybe Navas for Forest instead. 2 decent.
You could have just done none.
Well, no, and rolled the transfer.
Just made one move, or just not brought in Villa players.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you take out again. Sorry. So you took Martinez, Raya out for Martinez.
Raya for Martinez and Ben Mee for Mings. Yeah.
Was there anyone else in your team that you were contemplating doing?
Cheers, Joe. See, Joe knows his stuff there.
Not destroying, but just not like keeping a clean sheet.
Yeah,
clean sheet against Villa, against Chelsea.
I can feel it. Like I can, and I'm not going to go into a rendition here of Marty Pello.
But you're bench boosting as well, by the way, guys.
I'm bench boosting, and I just think for me, that's the one I wanted to go to. I didn't want to jump on United yet. I think Newcastle could score. I think Brentford could score. I think they're 2 tough fixtures, so I didn't want to bring in Luke Shaw yet. I mean, I'm looking at bringing in Shaw next week for 30 anyway, because the 2 fixtures really are then good for United, really good. So I wanted to hold off on that, and I thought, you know what, who have I wanted for ages that I could maybe bring in? And the Brentford ones are the only ones really that stood out in my team that I thought I'll move out. But yeah, all right, give me your opinion then. Who would you have brought in instead?
Well, I'm just looking, right? So Mings is pretty dirt cheap, right? 4.4 mil. Right, so obviously he's got the cash there. I'd rather have brought in a Leicester asset like Castagna.
No.
Versus Mings.
Or Pereira maybe, or something like that.
Defensive wise, I'd rather have backed a single game week. Like Ben, you've already got Ben White?
No, I've got 3 Arsenal already, Zinny.
I think I'd rather have backed. Yeah, but you've already got that. So who else is there? Dunk?
Liverpool, maybe.
You've already got 3. Brighton, Brentford. So you had Ben Mee. Did you take Ben Mee out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have brought Ben Mee in.
You would have went with Ben Mee. No, against what, Brighton and United? I mean, come on. I think Liverpool could have been the one. I could have brought in Robertson as a punt. Robertson could have been the one, right? Let's probably
just a United player. Like, you got the wrong Martinez. Should have brought Martinez from United in.
But Martinez and De Gea, that could have been the one. So, I've gone for it. I have gone for it a little bit, sort of left field. Obviously, I can tell by your reaction you was not expecting that.
Oh, listen, that was very random. Like, that's Stevie Gerrard in charge here.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you what, if it had not had the Chelsea-Liverpool fixture, right, the second fixture, I'd have potentially went for Chelsea and gone for, like, say, for example, Kepa and Chilwell, Kepa and Reece James.
Like Chelsea, Chilwell.
But as I say, I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I fancy Villa.
Yeah.
I fancy Villa.
I'm just going to try and find someone that I'd prefer. I mean, United, obviously, the obvious one.
Yeah, United, obvious moves. I think Shaw would have been. You've
already got your 3 Arsenal. You've already got your 3 Brighton. West Ham, a West Ham defender, could you?
I just still don't really trust them, to be honest. I mean, Southampton's a good game for them. You could see, them keeping a clean sheet in that one. Maybe I could have went Zuma instead. Zuma or I don't know how his name's pronounced. Is it Aidgard? Something like that.
Yeah, or God or something.
Yeah.
And listen, this could go either way, couldn't it? It could be a punt of. I want to sit here next week, and you'd be like
half time.
It could be,
or it could be,
and then Martinez could get sent off, and Mings could get sent off, and it could be a disaster.
Stop telling me what you're hoping to happen, Jack.
Joseph, I want it to pay off for you, because then you can come back next week and be like, I told you so, and you'd be absolutely buzzing. But then maybe the rest of your team wouldn't be buzzing. But it could go anyway. So.
Bench boost is activated. I mean, in terms of who I've got on the first 11, because the saying goes is you have your weakest players on the bench. Would you say I've got it right in that order, in that sense? I mean, Watkins is probably not as good as Kane, but he's got the double, so I think that's the way to have it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think you can change it around too much. But you bench boost anyway, aren't you? So it's kind of irrelevant, right?
Yeah, but I mean, what I mean is, for me to go, all right, I'll put Martinez and I'll put the 3 Arsenal guys on the bench. If they all haul against Leeds, that bench boost is going to look great. It's going to look amazing, isn't it? But really, in fact, I've put the better players on the bench. Of course, it's going to look great.
Do you think you could have held? This is your last chip, in it?
No. I've still got the free hit.
You've got free hit, right? So, do you think you could have used this? You've got your free hit probably from 32, game week 32, right, with all the blanks you were mentioning. So 34, you could have built your team towards using the bench boost, or even using it on the last game week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look ahead to 34 for the doublers, I've got Brighton. I'll have more United. I'll have Shaw. I've got plenty of doublers. I think it's minimum at least 7 I'll have for that 34.
Yeah,
free hit in 32.
That's what I mean. Yeah, so that's what I mean. So do you think you could have built your squad better to have a better bench for game week 34?
For 34 bench boost, in fact. Well, it's team value, and I think for me, it's 102, maybe, is it? Something like that.
I feel like I saw 102.8 somewhere.
102 something. So you need at least 104. So if we have a look at the fixtures for 34 quickly, you look at the doubles. It's all the big teams. It's the likes of City, Liverpool, United in there. You want all the big team doublers. You're going to need to have good team value for that. So it's all good and well saying you could do it then, but team value actually does come into it. So I think this game week, I think I'd rather play the bench boost now.
Yeah, all right. Daniel's just made a point. I'm guessing you don't think so. So do you think Ward is going to play? Obviously, you've taken him out for. Oh no, you took Raya out for Martinez, didn't you? So, but I'm guessing. Obviously, he didn't play that last game. So, but it's kind of, is it who knows sort of thing?
We don't really know, because I think with the press conferences, I don't think Rodgers has given much away from the goalkeeper point of view. So I'd expect Iverson to still start that game, to be honest with you. So.
All right, we are 15 minutes away from deadline, guys. 15 minutes, so make sure you set your captains and you do your transfers ASAP. This is the deadline, game week 29 preview. Hope you're enjoying this one. Do hit us a like if you are enjoying the channel, enjoying the stream. We're going to jump into my team now. I have made a move. I did forget I did this at the start of the international game week. But do you know who I've done? Do you know who I've made a move in there?
You've brought in. Have You brought in Salah?
No.
Him already. Let me have a look. De Gea, isn't it?
David De Gea is in. Brought him in. Obviously, I had Crystal Palace. I had Guaita, so I've had him in all season. I'm not too sure Big Roy's going to make a whole sort of change that, but it is because it's a double game week. I had that free transfer back in United for the rest of the season. De Gea in superb form, and I'm quite happy with the move in the end, to be fair. But yeah, it's Dave's in, Newcastle away, hoping that a clean sheet, and Brentford, and then on to Everton and Nottingham Forest, and then I'll probably have to just make a move for my reserve goalkeeper thereafter, ready for the blank, because I've got Ward in there if he's not back in time. But yeah, that's my lineup so far. White at the back, Estupiñán and Botman. Hopefully Botman's okay. Still a flag over him. Illness, 75% chance.
He's been back in training.
Been back training, yeah. Yeah. So, and then in midfield, I do have Salah still in there. So, still very much a differential in there, really. What is he ownership-wise? 27%, which actually is a lot higher than what I thought, because he must have had some moves in this week. Saka in there, still believing him on the single game week. Rashford back in training, and Mitoma in there. Up top, I've still got Haaland, but if he doesn't play Solomon, I'm still thinking maybe bringing him in instead off the bench. Kane and Tony up top. I still reckon Kane can do a lot of damage to Everton away. I think he's gone, there's not a lot to talk about him. Obviously, we've seen he's one of the most transferred out players this game week, so still think he's a great one. Tony made his England debut during the international break, will be full of confidence. So interested to see how he goes. Not much else on my bench available on that. Mikalenko and Williams. So not to
definitely didn't fancy the bench boost this week, then, Jack. No?
Definitely not tempted to do that. I'm going to work my way towards. But yeah, I'm going to go Rashford with captain's armband at the moment. I think Salah is still a bit of a quantity in there. He's tempting. He's very tempting just because he steps up in the big games, and we know what he is capable of without the form of Liverpool this season. The exception of that, but I think Saka's still a good shout. He is tempting for the single game week to go with him.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, and then Harry Kane against Everton.
Yeah, you can't this week. I mean, I think they are great in terms of that. If Saka hauls again, he gets 36 points as your single game week captain. He outscores Rashford. Say, it is a great shout. But then the longer that 90 minutes goes on, and he hasn't done anything in the game, you're going to be your nerves are going to kick in. Then you're going to think, oh God, he's not going to haul. So I think probably. Overall, for you, I think Salah or Rashford are the best picks, to be honest with you.
Mitoma's still up there, so it's a good problem to have, having different options available. But yeah, Rashford's probably the one I'm resting on.
Strong team. I am surprised with the De Gea move. Who's your bench goalkeeper again? It's Ward, isn't it? So
yeah, Ward, which probably at the time was maybe
Hodgson manager bounce and Gaeta hauling.
Nah, it's just because it's that double game week. I thought I'm going to get him in for the rest of the season, De Gea, as we made this running. So I was fingers crossed, be all right. I just want to say a shout out to Ant, who subscribed. So thanks for dropping that in, mate, and pleasure to have you on. And he's just come up with a comment. Does it matter where I place my players when the bench boost is active, i.e. the better player starting? I'll be correct in saying, I believe, that it does not matter because your bench players are just in and everyone gets the points on that game week. So as long as you've hit that bench boost button, mate, you'll be sweet. Elsewhere, who else we've got here? Joe's just agreeing with you. So your captain, obviously, I've got Rashford on for me, and you've got J-Mac as your captain. Is that right? Or Mac 10, not J-Mac. J-Mac's playing in Australia here. McAllister 10.
Yeah, I'm going for Mac 10 at the minute. We're 10 minutes from deadline. For me.
So who else would you be tempted by? So you've still got obviously Saka in your team. Let's just bring your team back up in here. Guys, feel free to jump in the comments if you're happy with your team. Feel free to help Reedy or myself out if we need to change. So Reedy, you do have in your team, you've got in midfield some great options with Saka, McAllister, Rashford, Mitoma, and Martinelli. You've got great options in there as well. Obviously I've gone Rashford. Reasons for not choosing Rashford, Reedy? Biased?
Feeling? I think the tough fixtures. I mean, he's in great form this season. I think if I had Bruno and Rashford in my team, I'd be picking Rashford as a captain. But I just don't know. I think they're tough fixtures. And also Ten Hag with his press conference and so on saying, he should be okay. Hopefully he's fine for that first game. I just don't like the idea of that really. So I think Mac 10, should be fine to start, all good. And that's why I'd probably pick him just over Rashford.
Yeah, Mitoma, not tempted.
It was going to be Mitoma. But the whole flight thing, coming back, he's had to travel. Rumours potentially in being benched as well, things like that. So I just don't 100% want to go with that one really. So I'd pick Mac 10.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Well, I'll sit on that one for a moment, mate. Harry Moore, thanks for joining in, mate. Good morning to you. I'm in Australia. Reed is in England. It is the evening here. We are nearly 9 p.m. at night, and obviously in the UK, nearly 11 o'clock at deadline. He's gone, would you go with Martinelli or Maddison and Rashi or Mitoma captain? And obviously we've just discussed a few of them. I've gone Rashford for myself. If you've got Maddison in there, I think he's a great pick also. But Rashford for me out of all them. Mitoma, I think second place in that to consider as your vice. But Reedy, for you?
I'll just take myself off mute there. But I think same. Maddison, was it Martinelli or Maddison and Rashi or Mitoma captain? Out of those, he's a player that I haven't got. I really like the Maddison captain. I really do this week. So I think that for me is the standout one out of those four. Maddison.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Harry, hope that helps and good luck for this game week. Don't have to apologise, mate. Obviously, we've created this so we can do both Australia down under and in the UK as well. So I hope you're enjoying the stream. We don't catch much football here. We have to stay up all through all hours of the morning to watch all the Premier League in Australia. So yeah, late night for me following the Liverpool City game. But yeah, we're only a couple of minutes away. We're probably going to finish the stream just before deadline, just to have a 1 minute just to make about 4 different transfers and really can take hits and panic. But I think we'll see how we go.
Calm as you like, Jack. I did just have a little look at Saka out for Salah, but nah.
Did you?
It's not worth it. No chance. Yeah,
not doing it. No.
I've got enough in the bag, but no. I'm set on what I've got. I'm happy with what I've got. Villa all the way. Martinez and Mings. Come on, you boys.
Here we go. What's your score prediction for this Liverpool game? 3-1 to Liverpool against City?
3-1 or 2-2 for me. Yeah,
fair enough, mate. Well, I'm obviously going to sit on the fence because I don't want either to win.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, here we go. Fabrizio, what have you got?
I don't know if this is true. I don't think it is. Nat Phillips is starting. I don't think that'll be right. No, definitely not. Surely not. I think we're good with Virgil. Matip. We've got Gomez.
Canate. Yeah. Robertson. Milner, Fabs.
Fabinho. Yeah. Henderson. All these guys. The usual suspects.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything concrete either at the minute. But we'll see. But what we'll do, I just want to say a big thank you to our sponsor once again, Bonus Bank. So Bonus Bank have been supporting us for the last 2 seasons. Australia and New Zealand's fastest growing side hustle. So you are based in Australia and ANZ. Please do check them out. Details in the caption below. Take advantage of Bookies promotions. It's free to set up, and you can also receive 25% off with your first premium month if you choose to upgrade. And that is the code word FPL Addicts. We've had plenty of our community sign up to that one, so I hope that's been going well for you guys. But yeah, listen, thanks for tuning in, joining me and Reedy live on the stream. Of course, we had Chaz jump in as well for his contribution, which is brilliant. Please make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe, jump in the comments, and we'll get back to you post stream. We want to wish you a massive good luck for game week 29. Lots of doubles on there. Very excited about what the Premier League is back for this game week, and can't wait to get going. But we'll be back next week for game week 30. Looking forward to that, Reedy, and obviously a pleasure to have you on the stream today.
Oh, good, Jack. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. bit of a mad one, obviously, this week after a long international break and a double game week coming up. But yeah, plenty of options that we've discussed and talked about. Difficult captain choice, I think that's one of the key things that's come out of it, really, with obviously international games and injuries and things like that. But 4 minutes to deadline, looks like we're set. McAllister for me, Rashford for you. After deadline, I know you're probably going to message me and say a Captain Salah. So,
No. Captain Ben White. No, all good, mate. I think that is it from us. All the best, everyone. Good looking at game week 29. May your arrows be green.